that's why, because when you were talking about the interface on the firewall,
Mhm.
so it's so for example, it's the core router, the or the edge router is the one that will send every any traffic to the firewall,
Yeah, you
and
can
then
see same thing like that. This is user having this 10.10.10 IP. This is trusted one. This is known to the office network. Then this is going to the inside network. This is router, right? This is router
mm-hmm,
containing office IP. Everything is office network, right?
mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
there is a firewall,
mm-hmm,
right? Then there is a firewall. So
mm-hmm,
it has sent it the IP here. This is the interface first, but we are not talking about routing switching right now. So this IP will be here, and the IP which is this is also a networking. This is also office network IP. The router is also configured in office network IP. So this IP, the IP going from router outside interface to the inside interface of the firewall will be considered as
mm-hmm.
a ingress IP.
Let's say, okay.
Okay, it doesn't actually happens. If it is happening, then we have to create a router IP here in the security policy interfaces, right? So we are directly creating a subnet, LAN subnet,
Mm-hmm.
and we have created a LAN
Okay.
subject, and then we are
Mm-hmm.
configuring this LAN subject subnet in the interface. Suppose we have multiple LANs, one LAN
Mm-hmm.
for HR, one LAN for employee, one LAN for sales team. So we will be configuring one interface, because we are segregating the particular subnet in three parts. Then we will be creating the sub interfaces for the particular single interface. Suppose there is a different LAN containing different subnet, we will be creating separate interface. So
Mm-hmm.
suppose
Okay.
the traffic is coming from LAN 2, so it will go to the interface, of course, because it is known traffic and trusted one. It will go to the different interface which is created in the firewall. And LAN 1 traffic is also coming here to the different interface. Having different subnet, it is also having different subnet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually the diagram. Let me open my.
In the application identifier, what actually happens?
In application identifier, suppose you just said, right, you if you want to access LinkedIn, you want to access Google, you want to
Mm-hmm.
access different IDs, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
application identifier it will be identified which destination traffic is related to. Either it is related to gaming, either it is related to social networking. So it will be
Mm-hmm.
identified like
Okay.
this. We can segregate the
Mm-hmm.
traffic on the basis of policy,
Is that uh-huh. Okay?
as the
Is
name
that where
suggests.
the application ID is get assigned to the packet?
Yes, everything will be assigned. I'll share the
Okay.
same while we will discuss the
Okay.
security policies. Application
Okay.
identification is
Mm-hmm.
something which
And
identify the
mhm.
application. Either it is related to gaming, either it is related to social networking in URL category, and also it identified the application in terms of services and ports.
Okay,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean that Palo Alto has an application ID for every single
Yes,
application that
yes,
exists in the world.
yes.
How do they keep up with all the applications that you know
Yep,
that
yep.
exist?
Every application Palo Alto has an ID. If it is not
Really?
available, it is not available,
Mm,
then it will create a
mm,
separate zone. You have to I mean explain that
mm,
to the security policy that this traffic is going to this port and protocol. So it will be
mm,
identified as a service and port. Suppose service is
mhm, mhm,
HTTPS, right? And you
mhm.
have to create your
Okay.
own application and make a firewall recognize the application that you have to create. You have created in security
Mhm.
policy.
Otherwise,
Otherwise,
Palo Alto is the one that assigns the application ID, not us. Like you don't assign application ID. to the traffic, right?
Yep, right. So application
Okay.
identification, everything will come. Suppose you are accessing Google and there are a lot of things on the Google. There are multiple
Mm-hmm.
URLs are there in the Google page, right? Suppose you
Mm-hmm.
from Google you have to click on Gmail, right? So Gmail
Mm-hmm.
will be
Mm-hmm.
identified, but you are not allowing Gmail from Google, then it will not allow to access Gmail from Google. You will be allowed to access Google, but Gmail will be denied because we are not
Mm-hmm.
adding in the security policy. We can segregate
Mm-hmm.
the application traffic also on the basis of, suppose you are using Facebook, right? So you are pinging, you are able to message, you are able to download everything, but you are not able to upload,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it will be segregated in the application identification. You are not allowing upload
Mm-hmm.
here, you are allowing download only. You are allowing
Mm-hmm.
suppose some pictures are not able to open, so we are not allowing that to the employees, right? So we can
Mm-hmm.
do this,
Okay.
we can do the kind of every operation of application in this function.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, got
for
it, got it.
in forwarding egress we will have external interface of the firewall.
Mm-hmm.
After identification of external interface, everything will be there, right? So firewall
Mm-hmm.
internet we have identified in ingress, and external we have identified in for last forwarding egress process, and then we have ingress process. You can see, right? Ingress process we have first while entering traffic to the firewall, and while
Mm-hmm.
exiting traffic from the firewall is egress process.
Mm-hmm.
Forwarding process we can say, or egress process we can say, anyone which one will work. So after that packet will transmit. Again it will check the encryption and decryption, everything. It doesn't matter, like it is going outside right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? If yes,
Okay.
if yes, it will follow the, again egress interface will be changed, like ingress interface was changed. It will change the egress interface, again will be changed if there is a VPN tunnel. If no, then packet will be transmitted easily. If it is opening, it must be closing as well, right? This VPN is in ingress interface, then VPN should be there in the egress interface also. Egress means outside interface. This is, if it is opening, VPN tunnel is opening, then VPN tunnel should close at the egress also. In layman language, we can understand that. So I hope
Mm-hmm.
it is bit explanatory for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good, good. Okay, so do you want to stop here
Yeah,
for
yeah,
today?
actually, yes, yes, we are good for
Okay.
today. I mean, this will,
Yep.
I'll keep explaining this flow diagram most of the time while going through net policies, security policies, so it will be memorized for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you very much. And um, did you say you're gonna share these notes with me
Yeah, yeah,
eventually?
I'll share the
Okay.
PPT notes for you.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is separate,
Okay.
right? So you can see it is
Yeah.
with more explanation and cropping
Oh, okay.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Vikram, I want to ask you to do me a favor,
Yep.
just so that you make sure I review. Ask me questions about the previous session.
Oh, okay. That's
Just
that's good. Yep.
test me, so I can keep up with that. So I make sure that I review. I will be scared of you and prepare and review the previous lesson.
Yeah, that will be help. That will be helping you. Right. So no issues. I'll be asking question. So today what we have
Okay.
discussed is,
Mm,
we have discussed SP3 architecture, and along with that we have also discussed the packet flow,
the packet flow.
which is
Okay. Yes.
quite explanatory. Give you Let me give you, this is just to keep that in mind. We have
Mm,
hardware's firewall.
mm-hmm,
These are all
mm-hmm,
firewall: 320, 400, 800, 3200, 3200, 5200, 5400. So these are the hardware platform, these are the virtual platform.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just have an idea that we are using these firewalls right
So
now.
you can get your own VM and then install Palo
I'll
Alto.
what I'll do is I'll have this firewall, either this, or we can have hardware. We will not be able to virtually install it. We will What I will doing is I'll be downloading a copy of hardware copy of hardware from Palo Alto website directly, either this PA800 series or PA, any of the series. I'll download from the Palo Alto website and I'll install that in virtual machine, VMware.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
so it will be
Okay.
installed in virtual platform, but it is not virtual firewall, right?
Mm.
Try to
It,
understand the difference.
yeah.
If you are going to deploy this hardware model in the Palo Alto, I mean VMware, then it is still a hardware firewall, but it is,
Mm-hmm.
you are not going to install this, right? You are not going to download it and install this. You are going to download this and install this. This is hardware firewall installed in the VMware. This is actually virtual. This will be installed in the cloud itself. Cloud itself means
Okay.
Azure Cloud, Oracle, AWS. It will be installed in the cloud itself. So install in the cloud, we have to have these firewalls only. We cannot install these firewalls in the cloud. So every cloud has separate firewall. If you are going to AWS, it will give you the instances in a firewall instance to download, install in the cloud. So these are hardware based firewall, and these are cloud based firewall.
So my understanding, if I understand you correctly, hardware is hardware. Like,
Hardware
they
is
give
hardware.
you the like the switch that looks like a
Correct.
fire. I mean, so
Correct.
you have the Palo Alto way.
No, 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 no. Actually, I will download it. I'll keep that in virtual machine VMware. Let me show
Oh.
you. Let me show you what I have.
Hmm. That's
You can,
interesting.
I can stop recording now, right? You can stop. Now let me show
Okay.
you. So I have this virtual machine, PAVM EXE 9.0. So let me show you again. Where is this? So PAVM. So this is what is installed in DC, in layman language, data center, right?
Yes. Yes.
And this is
Okay.
installed in VMs. Let me write it down for you. DCs, wherever the physical DC is available. Either we are installing it, we have to install the software along with that, right? Let me know if you have any question. I'll explain. That will help you to. I'll create sentences if you are not able to understand properly. This is virtual firewall. Suppose you are going to AWS.
Okay.
AWS, you will have an option to select the firewall. Select the firewall. You will have these options, but you will have also these options in AWS. AWS itself is a physical data center, right? Somewhere located, somewhere located, right? So it will have an option to either install this. See, AWS, you will have AWS Palo Alto Firewall. They have created their own version of AWS. I mean Palo Alto, but it will be there in AWS. It will be there in Azure. I'll let me
Mm-hmm.
try to search something for you. AWS firewall installation instances. So It is saying create a firewall. So in navigation network file, choose firewall. It will have an option to choose firewall.
Mhm.
Either it is your Palo Alto, either it is your Cisco, either it is your FortiGate. You will have an option to choose it from AWS. So we no, don't need to install it from Palo Alto. We don't need to install it some external devices. We can directly go to AWS and choose the firewall between multiple vendors. So let me show you what I'll be doing is I'll be doing suppose VM Workstation Pro, right? Let me show you if it is working now or not. Earlier I was giving training, it was working. So this is what we have, PA firewall. So I have installed, downloaded it from Palo Alto directly, and then we have created the firewall. Install it in the VMs. So it will take a lot of time to create it for you. What are the system requirement you have? Let me tell you, you should have at least 16 GB of RAM. Do you have that in your PC?
16 GB of RAM, 60 GB of RAM.
16, 16.
Uh, 16. Oh, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, so that's good. Let me stop share, right? So
But right now, I have few projects with my company laptop.
so that will
Next
not
class,
work in. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Next time, next class, I will log in with my personal.
that will be helpful. No issues. In which ways we are going? Let me just share again. Where we are going from tomorrow. I'll go
Okay.
with the interfaces from. I'll go with the interfaces configuration, initial configuration of firewall, right? So we can just
Okay.
explain it, and then it, because the lab configuration will take some time. Either it will.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So